It's Friday, June 30th, 2023. We have a lot to talk about today, a lot happening. Please feel free to comment about anything you want to comment. Make sure to like this video, share this video, and make sure you subscribe to this channel. But without further ado, let's get right into it. I took down some notes today. I always jot down notes because I try not to forget what I want to talk about. And there's so much happening that if you don't jot down some notes, you're going to forget what you want to talk about. And I think that it's really important to all of you. I feel like I have a fiduciary duty to all of you to do the best job that I can. So I always take an hour out of the day and just jot down some notes and some highlights of things I want to talk about because I don't want to forget. And even though I jot down notes, I still forget to talk about certain things, but I get the majority of what I want to talk about in. But I think that all of you are so important that I have a duty to all of you to deliver as much of the news and information that I can. So that's why I always jot down notes. It's very important. But first thing I want to talk about today is there were a few people in the comments yesterday. And let me say this: the comments are absolutely incredible. Keep them coming. But there were a few people, and there's always people out there that will say that everything's fine. Stop selling the doom and gloom. Stop being negative. Everything's fine. You're exaggerating. The economy's doing quite well. You're wrong. That's what they say. You're wrong, JB. To those people, now, I know that there are people out there that have to hope that this economy is going to turn around because they're real estate agents, they're heavily invested in these markets, they're in the mortgage business, and so they have to hope that things are going to get better because their whole livelihood depends on it. But let me say this: hope does not cash checks, ladies and gentlemen. Preparation cashes checks, and you better be prepared for what's coming. Unfortunately, millions of people are going to be bouncing checks because they are not prepared for what's coming. And so these people who, on a regular basis want to tell us everything's okay and that if you think it's not okay, you're doom and gloom, you're negative, and you don't know what you're talking about. These people who say that, they are either very naive, very dumbed down, or they are just flat out lying. And I think a lot of these people are lying to you and I. I think a lot of people are lying to themselves because they have to hope everything's going to be okay because they know deep down it's not and that they're in very, very big trouble. But to these people who continue to tell us everything is okay, I guess you haven't gone to the grocery store lately. Millions of us have. Maybe you're so wealthy that people do your shopping for you. But I can tell you, I do my own shopping. I know most people watching this video today do their own shopping. And you know that the price at the grocery store is not coming down. Yes, maybe egg prices have come down, but your steak prices, beef prices, fish, poultry, bacon, bread, cereals, etc., have not come down. They're either going up or they're staying up. And so to the average person out there, they don't see that everything is doing okay. I guess you haven't paid your utility bills lately because if you have, you would notice utility bills are skyrocketing. I guess you haven't bought a car recently. If you've seen the price of a brand new car, nearly $50,000 now on average for a new car. I guess you haven't paid your medical insurance because if you did, you notice it has gone up. How about your house insurance? It's gone up. Things continue to go up. And one thing that isn't going up are wages. So I know that there's people living in Mayberry. I know that there's people living in their little bubbles, wherever that might be, and they believe everything's okay because it's not affecting them. I have empathy towards people. I know that millions of people are suffering. I know that a majority of this country at this point are feeling the pain. Yet there's, people out there doing quite well. And as long as they're doing well and they're in their own little bubble, then the entire economy is doing well. Stop being ignorant and wake up to what's happening. I looked at the U.S. debt clock today. And so you could be living in Mayberry. You could be living somewhere in a nice house and you still have a job today. But remember, nobody is immune from losing their job. But if we look at some of the data from the U.S. debt clock, national debt today is now $32.2 trillion. So no matter where you live, if you live in America, our national debt is $32.2 trillion and climbing. If everything was so great, let me ask you this. Why did they have to raise the debt ceiling another $4+ trillion if everything was okay? Federal budget deficit, $1.5 trillion. That means that's a $1.5 trillion more dollars going out than coming in. Do you think that that's really healthy? If that was happening in your household today, how long could you exist? How long would you survive? Debt to GDP, 121.9%. Does this sound healthy to you? And if you think that this isn't going to affect you at some point, you are sadly mistaken. Debt per taxpayer, $251,000. Living in poverty in America, 42.8 million people living in poverty. Food stamp recipients now, almost 43 million people in America now on food stamps. Median new home, $428,000. In 2000, the median new home was $165,000. Do you think the average person's paycheck and wages are keeping up with that? Unfunded liabilities, $191.8 trillion. U.S. trade deficit, $1.064 trillion. Trade deficit with China, $303 billion. Median income in the U.S., $35.9 thousand. In 2000, it was $31.8 thousand. So wages have not gone up a whole lot from 2000 to 2023. Foreclosures, 108.5 thousand bankruptcies, now 417,000 bankruptcies in America. Interest on the debt, this is the interest we pay on the US debt now, $610 billion. It's absolutely incredible, the amount of debt that we're racking up here in America, and people believe because they're in their little bubble that everything's okay, that this is not going to affect them. Defense budget, $788 billion. You know, when they tell us that the GDP, that GDP was up 2%, think about $4+ trillion in the debt ceiling. Think about how much we're spending on this defense budget. How much is this really coming from the real economy versus how much the government is spending? Does this look like a world superpower to you, ladies and gentlemen? Look at the, I mean, we're talking $191 trillion of unfunded liabilities. Does this look like a booming economy to you? It does not to me. These numbers are absolutely startling, yet there are people out there that are so ignorant, they don't see the danger because they live in their little bubble that all of this major debt, all these deficits, it's never going to affect them. They have no idea that it's affecting them every day. But anybody that has a brain at this point, that goes to the grocery store, that's paying their utility bills, that's making the rent payment, making a car payment, medical payment, or health insurance. How about a credit card payment when you're paying 21% interest on it? I think most people understand that we're in big trouble at this point. Student loan relief is gone for millions of Americans. Here's what it means for retailers. Investors say retailers that sell discretionary merchandise such as clothing, electronics, are more vulnerable. So let me ask you this. If people had the money to go to Macy's, to go to the Gap, to go to Nordstrom's, to go to Best Buy and buy clothing and buy electronics, why couldn't they pay their bills? Why couldn't they pay their student loan? Oh, because they want to go shopping and buy stuff instead of paying the money back. Okay. It's time to pay the bills, ladies and gentlemen. The party is over. And now, as most of you know, these people, over 40 million Americans, are going to have to go back now to paying their bills, to paying their student loan debt. Here's one from The Hedge today. Student loan repayments, will it start the recession? Well, no, it's not going to start the recession because the recession has already started. It's going to intensify the recession. $1.4 trillion. That balance goes across 40.5 million people that owe this $1.4 trillion. They're going to pay on average $390 per month over a 10-year period. This is 15.5% of the adult population now, which is basically going to be paying about $400 a month. That is not going to be going to retailers. That is not going to be going to Best Buy. No, it's going to be going back to making payments. And so, yes, this is going to have an effect on retailers without a doubt. This is a lot of money that is not going to be going back into the economy. And it should have never been going to Macy's or Nordstrom's or Best Buy. It should have been going back to paying these debts that were owed. The hedge today, consumers trade down from Walmart. Dollar Tree becomes supermarket for the working poor. So here's another indicator of where we're at right now. This is where people are forced to shop after 2 years of negative real wage growth, depleted savings, and let's not forget the credit card debt, while people are paying a record high interest rate now on average, 21%. Consumers, it says, are cracking under the weight of inflation and may have traded down grocery shopping from Walmart to Dollar Tree. So Walmart now, it's getting so bad that Walmart now is becoming a luxury for people. Many people now can't afford to go to Walmart. They got to shop at Dollar Tree. And so they're going to buy cheaper products, frozen foods, more processed foods, because they cannot afford to buy the higher quality foods that may be at Walmart. Not that Walmart has the highest quality food. They certainly do not. But, you know, people were able to shop at a grocery store, then they got priced out of that, then they had to shop at Walmart, now they're getting priced out of that, and now they're having to shop at Dollar Tree. This is where it's all heading. And people are going to do whatever they have to do to feed themselves, feed their families. They're not going to have many options because the Walmart now becomes the luxury, Dollar Tree becomes the necessity. People are losing options to where they can shop because they're getting priced out. So another bellwether, another indicator of what is happening to the consumer. The consumer is stretching it out as far as they can. They're getting tapped out. Here's another interesting article today. This one I think is going to be a big problem down the road here. Airbnb listings revenues falling fastest in these 9 cities, data reveals. Revenues per listing have dropped by nearly 50% in some cities. And I was looking at this. This goes from last May to this May. This is really incredible when you look at the revenue fall here from last May to this May. Phoenix, Arizona down 47%. Austin, Texas down 46.1%. Myrtle Beach down 45%. San Antonio down 43.8%. Nashville, Tennessee down 39%. Denver 38.6%. New Orleans down 37%. Panama City down 38.9%. Orlando down 34.8%. From last May to this May. These numbers are huge, and I think that we're going to see a lot of people who own these Airbnb homes within the next 12 months to 18 months have to liquidate. They're going to be forced to sell. And so again, we're seeing another indicator here where people don't have the discretionary spending to just go out and take these vacations and rent these homes. And when you price it all in, management companies, HOAs, the mortgage, the upkeep, the insurance, etc. Most people, maybe not most, but a good handful of people are in the red at the end of the year. They're in the red. So, if you're thinking about getting into this business of Airbnb, VRBO, and getting into the house renting business, you better be very, very careful what you're doing. Another one today, CNBC. ESPN lays off about 20 on-air personalities, including NBA analysts Jeff Van Gundy and Jalen Rose. Again, no one is immune, ladies and gentlemen. They're cutting costs, and they're saying more departures will be on the way. And, I could really care less because I'm not a giant sports fan. UFC, I'm a big fan of UFC. I'm a big fan of maybe Superbike and World Superbike, motorcycle races, things like that. But all of this has gotten too political for me, and so when it gets this political, I just check out. So I'm not watching baseball, I'm not watching football, I'm not watching basketball. I've checked out because they've gotten so political. I'm done. And I don't donate 1 second of my time or 1 cent of my money to these organizations. And so long to Jeff Van Gundy, so long to Jalen Rose, wish you the best, and all the other people and all the future departures that are coming. As most of you know, Disney owns a majority of ESPN. Disney's laid off 7,000. It's going to get much, much worse. So nobody is immune, and people are checking out too. They don't care. I mean, they're done with baseball and football and all the politics, and they're absolutely done. So goodbye. And I will finish with this last article coming from the New York Post. Shoplifting in New York City is so bad, supermarkets are locking up $6 ice cream. Bolted plastic tops are now being put on these ice cream cartons. It's unbelievable. Some of these stores are actually using chains and locking up these ice cream freezers so people can't just go in and take the ice cream. So bolted plastic tops, which have to be removed at the counter. I think those are the ones they use for like alcohol, where they put it on top of the alcohol. Then when you check it out, they unlock it. So they're doing that, or they're just chaining up the ice cream section at these grocery stores. This is where we're at as a society. Do you see where it's all heading? Do you see where it's at? To these people who think that it's not bad, head down to LA tonight. Go walk around, head down to Chicago, Philadelphia, New York, San Francisco. Try not to step on a needle. Try not to fall over a homeless person. Hopefully you won't get mugged or assaulted. Maybe hit the subway in New York and tell us all tomorrow how great things are in America now, that everything is fine, that everything's doing okay. You know, just don't measure things financially. Take a look at what's happening socially. I don't know which one's falling faster. If we're falling faster economically here in America, or if we're falling faster socially here in America, I don't know which one we're falling faster. But when you're locking up ice cream, cartons of ice cream, this is how bad it is. And you have to ask yourself that when the lights go out, when the cyber attacks begin, when the grids go down, how bad does this look? And are you prepared to deal with it? Are you prepared? Let me tell you, if you're living in your little bubble, you're not prepared. You're going to have a major wake-up call, and it will be too late for you. And I don't want to look. I don't want to see anybody victimized. I don't want to see anybody hurt. I don't want to see anybody lose all their money, their wealth, their house, their job, their cars. I don't want to see that. You have to wake up right now. You have to be paying attention. But don't forget about what is happening socially, because no matter where you live, even if you live in Mayberry, bad people are going to be coming to Mayberry looking for you because you have stuff. So be very, very careful. I'm going to leave it there today. Have an incredible weekend. And I will say this as we leave. Make sure you do have some balance in your life. There's a lot of bad news out there. There's a lot of bad stuff going on. And yes, there is a lot of negativity out there. But that doesn't mean that, we stop living life, that, we can't have fun. Enjoy some time with your family. Enjoy some time with your friends. Have some fun this weekend. But make sure that you take a little bit of time. You thank God for everything you have. Take some more time. Make sure you add to the preparations. But you have to have balance. So enjoy some free time with family and friends. Enjoy nature. Enjoy the outdoors. There's nothing wrong with that. You deserve it. So have a great weekend. God bless all of you. Pray for this country. Pray for people in those comments that are struggling right now. Maybe you're not struggling, but you're aware that other people are struggling. They're having a hard time. If you've been blessed and you're doing well right now, make sure you're praying for other people. Maybe even help out some other people if you can. I'm going to leave it there today. Have a great weekend. God bless all of you again. Thank you for tuning in. Please make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you share this video. Make sure you subscribe. God bless.